So welcome back to the League of Legends Season 1 Championships here at DreamHack in Jönköping here in Sweden. Yes. And Freak, how are you doing? We've had a little bit of a break. Obviously, Group A finished now, and we're going to be moving soon into Group B.
Yes, yes. So Group A just ended. I drank about 2 liters of water since then. We're going to be moving on into Group B. Game GDE versus Team Solo Mid is the first matchup. Also, Chronologic Gaming will be playing Zan. And I'm really looking forward to these games. I'm actually, I talked last series about how I was going to root for Dyrus playing Singed, but this time I'm all going to be about rooting for Game DE. I saw them last year at WCG and I'm really excited for them. But less about Group B. Let's talk about Group A real quick. For those of you just joining us in America, it's really early in the morning. Some of you might just be waking up. But let's go over some of the results from Group A that we had earlier today. So for those wondering, the top finisher, Epic Gaming, went 3-0. You look at the kill score, we got the kill score out there as well. 3-0, very first match of the day. They played against all authority, or rather against all authority. And then moved on, and against all authority, they're going 2-1, doing very well there. Fnatic seems to be hurting from their lack of XPK, and they barely struggled with a 1-2. Didn't get a win over Team Pacific. They keep themselves alive. They're keeping themselves alive just barely, and they'll be moving on still into the relegation matches with AAA. Epic, they're already securing themselves top 4.
Yeah, and of course Team Pacific, they're not quite able to pick up a victory today, and unfortunately will be going home empty-handed. The first team that will be knocked out. Not empty-handed. It's a great experience, if you ask me. Flying in from the Philippines, obviously qualifying is one of the 2 Southeast Asian teams, and getting to play against teams like Epic, against All Authority, and of course against Fnatic as well. So a great experience for Team Pacific, and hopefully as the Southeast Asian scene continues to grow, we'll be seeing more from teams like that. Of course, over in Group B, what we're going to be seeing here this afternoon, we have Team Solo Mid, Game D, CL Gaming, and of course Zan. So let's talk about this first game, because that's where we're headed. And of course, it's the German side of Game D going up against Team Solo Mid. And Team Solo Mid probably going to be the favorites coming into this game. Obviously, Gamed were the 2nd seed from Europe.
Yeah. So Team Solo Mid is the 1st seed from North America. They have the choice of side and picks and whatnot. Gamed was number 2 from EU. Now, we saw last time around that the number 2 US team managed to beat the number 1 EU team with Epic beating over AAA, but just barely. Super close game. AAA barely managed to lose that one, but they were winning for a while. They managed to slip down just barely. It's kind of unfortunate for them, but they're of course still moving on, 2nd place in the group. Game versus Team Solo Mid. TSM, number 1 seed from North America, absolutely. But Gamed, I like, because I think they're one of the more original, originating teams. They kind of make it up as they go along. They have more sort of interesting, more unique strategies, and I actually really, really excited to see what they can bring to the table. They seem to be the team to do really unique things, to do really special things, and I'm honestly just I'm just waiting for champion select for this game, because that's going to make my day, seeing a crazy lineup that I'm expecting. Well, yeah, I saw Singed went ballistic, and then I saw Teemo and was about to die, and then I got trolled. But I love seeing these slightly off-tilt champion selections. I mean, seeing people who specialize in these slightly off-the-wall champions. We saw first-time Lee Sin, we saw the finally Westrise on Akali, and unfortunately, I don't know the EU scene well enough to know those champion-specific players where it's Soaz with the ridiculous Needly that no one else plays, and you had. What was it it's AAA Momo playing Karthus, right? There's a couple of players who have those specific champions that they're really glamorous with that you don't normally see in lineups, and now Karthus is a fairly common choice, but the champions that you don't normally see in competitive play that you see, just the player skill carry that one over. I'm a really big fan of those. Yeah, those are really cool champions to see.
Yeah, I think that really adds something to it. You get these kind of normal picks that you see in 9 out of 10 games, and then it's great to see someone else. And apparently we'll be moving the game, changing the game, because of a few little issues that we have here. We will be moving over to Gamed versus CLG first, so a slight change in the order. So I guess we can talk once again about the game.
Yeah. So the game. Okay. I had to make that pun. So yes. So apparently the change in sketch around a little bit. Looks like CLG versus will be Gamed's first opponent, and still I'm rooting for Gamed. And I've been reading the forums, and I'm gonna break the ice on this one real quick. Been reading the forums. EU forums not happy with my commentary for Epic versus AAA, and I'll admit to more bias than I should have been there. I'm sorry for that one. This one, For what it's worth, I'm rooting for Game, so at least I can hopefully equal that one out. Realistically, I shouldn't be biased, but I somewhat can't help it being human that I'm super invested into these games as a fan and as a player. So, sorry, it doesn't really make it better, but it's not like I'm trying to be racist or anything. I'm just like, I will see a team and be like, I want them to do cool things. And it's like seeing solo top Singe, like, you can't, that doesn't happen in tournaments, right? So I just had that sort of overriding me, and I'll do what I can, but sorry, guys. But we have an awesome game coming in. Gamed and CLG both now full in their lineups. All the players are in here. I believe we'll be doing a couple of interviews and things before the game quite starts, but this is the very first game of Group B. This is going to determine so very much. We've already had Group A go through. We saw that up on the screen earlier. Epic going 3-0, AAA second place, Fnatic third place. Unfortunately, Team Pacific going home. Now, all the teams who've been here have automatically won some money. That $100,000 prize pool is not just going to first place. They're getting half of it, but then that's going to trickle down. And not only are they getting plane flights, hotels, and food, but they are also winning some prize money as well. So none of the teams are really leaving empty-handed. Yeah. And as far as experiences also really awesome as well. But here, Gamed will have the choice of first pick, first ban side. They are the second seed in this group. CLG the third seed, barely squeaked it out in the North American qualifier. And talking with each other in chat, though in German wouldn't really help too much. But Guten Morgen, CLG. It's like, I'm not going to read that too well.
Good morning.
Well, I understand that. I know about 10 words in most languages.
Most of them are swear words, right?
No. I actually know a decent amount of German, actually. I'm doing okay with that one. I actually used to live in Germany, so that's probably why I'm rooting for the German team here. But, okay, sometimes. But no, I can count. I can say lots of cool things. I could not get around and save my life, but thankfully, most people in here have learned English, so that's helped me numerous times.
Yeah. It's definitely a bit of a lifesaver, yes. I'll be honest. After living in Germany and not being the most fluent German speaker in the world.
I was 3, to be fair. It was between ages 3 and 5. I took kindergarten.
Well, you've got no excuse, and that's when you learn fastest.
Right, and then I went back to America, and no one speaks German in America, so it trickled down. I'm sorry, I'm making excuses. I'm trying to. I don't know. Okay, I'm flustered now.
I'm sure we get around it. Yeah, so CLG just going to bring another couple of guys in. Game just missing one as well, but hopefully we'll be kicking off here just momentarily. I guess it kind of changes the order of play for Group B and what we're going to be seeing here on stream. Yeah. We were supposed to see TSM versus Gamed, and then CLG versus Zan. So maybe we'll be seeing,
TSM versus Zan, I guess.
Yeah, TSM versus Zan coming up here next. Hopefully that will be the next one. But things can change. We're on a live event, and you never quite know what's going to be thrown into the works. But so far, we've been pretty good on schedule, and fingers crossed it goes like that for the rest of the day. And today we will be concluding both of the group stages. Tomorrow, moving into those relegation games into the playoffs on Monday, and from the end of today, the next 2 days, it will be best of 3 as well. So even more games. Mm-hmm.
And not just best of 3s, they're actually weighted best of 3s. So in order to try to keep teams from saying, oh, well, I don't want to face against number 2 against all authority, or actually, no one. Let me rephrase that one a little bit. So normally, right, you want to get the best seed possible. Of course, number 1 seed means you get guaranteed top 4, no relegation at all. Super, super useful. Now, you might want to say, well, let's see. They already know AAA got second, or against all authorities is second in the group, and Fnatic is third. Oh, apparently we're changing the game back, and I think we're actually going back to games versus Team Solo Mid. So things changing all over the place. It's okay. We're going by. We're going to get our games. It's going to be great. Back to the original plan. Super awesome. But the way to best of 3 is I was talking about, if you say, hey, I'd rather fight, I guess I'd rather fight against all authority than I'd fight Fnatic. If you willingly go to third, or if you go to third at all, it's actually a weighted best of 3, where the number 2 seed fighting against the opposing number 3 seed, they actually have a 1-game advantage, so they just have to go 1-0 and they're done, and they win out. Yep. Whereas the other team has to go 2-0 and they can't drop a game at all. And that's to instead winning your group and not trying to drag your seed down for a better match. And I think it's a really good way of handling it, and it keeps the schedule moving, and it really gives you a benefit. Like if you got second place in the group, you deserve something good out of that. So pretty cool there.
So I'm just trying to clarify actually what's going on, because we still have all 5 from Game here in the game and 4 from CLG. And Game is saying no, we are staying with this game.
Yeah, so there's, I guess we're getting conflicting reports on who's actually being played. Certainly Game is going to be playing. They can just kind of stay there for now. But yeah, we were told, originally the schedule was Team Solo Mid, then it was like, no, it's going to be CLG, then it was like, no, it's back to normal. But now Zyler's saying, well, actually, CLG's game. CLG game is going forth. So yes, we're gonna do game CLG. All right, so there we go. It's actually going to happen. Game versus CLG. We're waiting for the 5th from CLG to hop in. Looks like that's going to be Big Fat LP. But Hotshot, St. Vicious, Elements, and Chowster already in. From Game DE, Rake, Candy Panda, Xylor, Kevin, and Nif. Yes, we are definitely running CLG versus game, just getting the confirmations from the box behind us, making sure that we all know what's going on. Absolutely going to be game versus CLG. Still rooting for the Germans, though. 100%
is going to be that. By the way, do you have a fist bump that transitions into a yo-yo? That would be fitting for this situation.
I think should we try it?
No, let's not. Actually, there are at least 50 threads about the rocket ship fist bump.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Some guy even took a picture like, can you do this fist bump free?
Dude, I would love to do the ask a caster, request a fist bump thread. That'd be great. That's a great time filler, by the way. He's like, guys, and you could draw out diagrams and be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Of course, I'm doing left to right, so you're reading it backwards. Anyway, sorry. I was trying to think of which languages read backwards. Arabic. Okay. Moving on. Oh, Kevin's PC crashed, so we're going to have him restart. We're still waiting for the fist from CLG anyway. Fun things going on. A little bit behind schedule. Sorry about that. But we will have awesome games coming for you very, very soon. Big Fat LP has joined the game, so we're getting much closer to the start of Group B. And this is going to mean so very much. Certainly, the forums are very, very bright with topics of US versus EU. Oh man, there's a lot of trolling going on the boards right now, and I actually really want a cross-country final. If Zan shows up and crushes faces and takes #1 from the group and moves on to the finals, then Epic's proven to be at least top half of the field so far. So Epic versus EU final, Epic versus Zan. As the games are showing up, doesn't have to be Epic, right? So whoever does the best. But I would love to have cross-continental finals. That's my ideal ending.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what everyone wants to see. It'll bring that real rivalry in there, and I hope to see something like that. But what do you think about Zan? I mean, we kind of touched on this earlier when we were talking about Pacific in Group A. Do you know much about Zan, and aside from their Pantheon power?
Honestly, no, and everyone I talk to keeps wanting to see Pantheon being played, so I really hope TSM does not ban Pantheon, because I want to see that. I know you're at a tournament, and it really matters if you win, and it's very important. I understand all that. But I still want to see, just like I wanted to see that solo top singed, I want to see that Pantheon. I really do. I love seeing unique picks that you don't see often, because you learn so much by those champions showing up and you're like, oh, Akali really is amazing. And wow, if you position correctly with Swain, you really do crush team fights. It's great seeing those. So I'm always rooting for the underdog sort of lineups, the underdog players, the underdog teams, all that. It really makes my day.
Well, maybe you'll have something to cheer about with the underdogs
I'm hoping for that Pantheon.
Obviously, in the other group, Pacific, the other team from Southeast Asia, didn't quite find their feet, finished bottom of the group. Yeah. First team to be knocked out here in the Season 1 Championships. But hopefully, Zan will come in and give us a little bit more. But before we get this game underway, we are going to go into the pro gaming area, where we have an interview with the teams.
Hi, I'm Karen Minook, as known as Carrie Bear. We just came off of an awesome Group A match. We're about to move into Group B. First game is CLG versus Gamed, and I have here a member of CLG. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Michael Big Fat LP Tang, also known as Big Fat GG.
Awesome. So we're very excited to have you here. You flew all the way from the U.S. to attend. Are you guys struggling with jet lag or anything at all right now?
We're actually kind of sleepy right now. I've been sitting around the entire day doing absolutely nothing, but should be okay. Couple Red Bulls and stuff.
Awesome. Food of champions, Red Bulls. So we just came off of Group A. Did you watch that at all?
Yeah, we watched most of the games, and some of them were pretty good.
Was there anything that surprised you?
No, nothing surprising really. It's all just some good play and some kind of dumb play. But it was not too surprising, most of it.
Great. And, in this match we have, 2 U.S. teams, a team from Germany and a team from Asia. And the play styles really vary a lot between all the countries. Do you guys have any thoughts about that? Did you guys research how the other countries tend to play?
We researched EU a little bit because we practiced by scrimming them. But for the Southeast Asian teams, we have absolutely no idea.
Awesome. So it should make some really exciting matches. Thank you very much. Good luck. And back to you guys in the commentator booth.
Well,
I hope we don't see any of that dumb play in this in this second group, in Group B.
Absolutely. It's always great having those really frank those frank interviews where, you know, they're just like, this is what it was, right? There's some good play, there's some bad play, some dudes screwed up. Because when you play League of Legends or any game at that level, right, you kind of think of everything's in ones and zeros. Like, was that a good move, was that a bad move, right? It's not like, oh, cool, there was a Singed. Oh, cool, there was a Pantheon. It's not about that when you're a player. I'm a fan. I play too, right? I'm a fan. I'm a commentator. I love seeing cool things, right? When you're just like in the competitive mindset, you're just like, yes, okay, no, oh, fail, okay, great.
Yeah,
right?
there's nothing there, right?
Yeah, right. There's no like, oh, that was really fun, but it sucked. No one does this, right? So it's always kind of just fun seeing the different mindsets out there.
Well, we're still waiting for one from Game, but it's not Kevin. Actually,
yeah.
I've commentated quite a few games online, and we always actually made a joke about Kevin because he's the slowest loading player in the entire world, actually.
Well, we're on land now, he should be equal. I'm going to laugh when he loads last anyway.
Yeah,
that'd be
probably
great. Just has an aura of like slow computing. I mean, he did have the computer that crashed, right? Like we had, somehow Kevin like jinxes computers all day. But we're waiting for Osoft. I want to say he's the jungler, but I can't quite remember. I know he was on the SK team that was at WCG last year, along with Rake. And I'm really bad at remembering people from a year ago, unfortunately. But I know I met a good number of them in the entire CLG lineup as well. I actually really like this game. I just realized it's a semi-repeat of the WCG finals last year. I'm actually pretty intrigued by that.
Yeah.
In some shape. All right, it looks like we're actually ready to go from the back for the picks and bans. So ready, go, and ready, basically. And we're going to see if CLG and Gamed are ready to rock this game. But it's going to be super freaking awesome.
Yeah, can't wait to see this one. Obviously, Gamed were the team from the European qualifiers who most people, I think, counted them out purely because they didn't know who Gamed were rather than the players that were playing for Gamed.
That's true.
But they're going to come into this one. They've qualified in second seed from Europe, and I think they'll have done a lot of practice for this one. They're a team that are really hungry for a lot of success, and I'm looking forward to see their performances here in Group B.
Yeah, all the teams super well practiced. They've been, it looks like CLG's ready, but Game not quite. So we're waiting on Game to say okay, and then we're going to jump into the game. And Rake from Game does have the host privileges, so as soon as they say good to go, we're going to hit that start button, and we're going to jump right into the picks and bans. Yeah, and you're right. You know, no one really looked at the teams on paper and said, oh, actually, Game is a super strong team. I think everyone was really expecting Against All Authority, Fnatic, and SK Gaming in some order, those three teams. Against All Authority seeming to be the best European team on paper, or even the best team in the world on paper. I think everyone still really considers Epic winning that to be a giant upset, and I think we're not done seeing AAA, Against All Authority, whatever you want to call them, crushing heads the rest of the tournament. I think they're going to start picking that one up in the relegation matches. And so let's do some early predictions before the games start. How do you think the group's going to shape up? 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a tough one. Especially since I don't want to be biased towards the Americans, being English and all that, and living in Germany. But I'm going to go for Team Solo mid first, Game second, CLG third.
Right, so you're following the exact seeding that we have. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I'm going Game number 1. First off, I think they've got it in them. Let's see. All right, people are getting water. Okay, you do the next ready check. Okay, so still ready. Just making sure, we get this ready to go. But it looks like they're getting water right now, so the players are almost ready to go. I look down there and see milling about a little bit. So I think game number 1, TSM CLG is going to be close. I think CLG on paper is the strongest American team. I mean, they've been around for over a year. Last WCG they won it. Super competent team, and it seems like they hadn't been practicing as a team for some time. Oh man, it's fun watching the commentary from the players back. And I think they finally started practicing as a team again. I think they had kind of fallen off a really good team schedule for a while. So I think they're ready to pick this up. I'm going to go CLG number 2, and then just to throw it out there, I'm going to go Zan number 3. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to say Zan. Zan picks one up, takes third place over TSM. I think they got this.
Yeah, you think the top seed from the US is going out in the group stage?
Yeah, I think so.
Is this just to make a point against American bias?
No, I actually, I truthfully believe Games is the best team in this group. I really believe that. We're actually into the picks and bans now finally. We're going to get that underway. But I actually believe Games is the best team in this group. And I think CLG is going to take over TSM. And I just want to see Zan do awesome. Wow. Chopping that phone up there, nice.
A lot of people now know he loves Kelly.
Yep, I actually know who that is too. I'm going to make fun of her when I get home. It's going to be great. All right, so Nunu, the first ban from Game DE, banning him out from St. Vicious. Rumble, the right-away ban from Counterlogic Gaming. Annie banned right off back. These guys are going back and forth really quickly. Nunu, Annie, and Rumble the ban so far. Amumu with a fast ban from CLG, so the two top estimated junglers are gone right now from those lineups. And yeah, I talked to CLG before. They said absolutely they're going to ban Rumble every single time. Needly, pretty obvious ban against CLG. You don't really want to let Hotshot GG play that girl. He's a really good Needly player. Just like you ban Needly against AAA and now let SOAS take it, you kind of got the same thing going on. So you have a lot of targeted Needly bans, which I think are super entertaining. But the moment of truth is about to come in. It's the last ban for CLG, and it's time for Game to pick up the first champion.
Yep, and we're not going to see a Rumble, are we, all weekend? I'm quite sure we're not going to. No, Twisted Fate then is the final ban from CLG. And I guess, Rumble definitely a fairly standard one. We see the first pick coming in from Gamed already, obviously.
Wow.
They've had a whole day to think what they're going to do and work through these games. And Rake just goes straight in there. Alistair first pick.
I mean, yeah, we've seen Alistair a lot. Wow, interesting. Quick picks on Warwick and Sona. They make sense overall. I guess I'm a little bit surprised. I never used to really rate Sona that highly, but she's been proving herself really, really well in this tournament so far. That haste, the AoE stun, she has a lot of very strong focused utility. But the rest of her buffs are really diffused. She has a fairly small, self plus single target heal, a fairly small nuke on that Q. The auras, they're super good, but they're sort of understated because you don't really realize that they're giving so much of a buff to your team. So you don't notice a lot of what Sona does. And I guess maybe that's some of it, but certainly a very, very strong champion. And see, one of the first picks, or basically the first pick for CLG. Let's see how that plays out.
Well, they've got obviously a time limit for how long they have to pick these champions, and it will, of course, be run down that clock rather than locking in, just to have those extra few seconds to talk maybe about the next pick. So next up will be Candy Panda and Xylo, and it looks like Janet and Brand will be the two there. Yeah, and Xylo will be jungling, I guess. We've seen him regularly actually for games jungling as well.
Yeah, that's my complete lack of knowledge for the game lineup. Sorry about that, but I'm actually intrigued by both those picks being so early. Maybe they're going for a counter pick sort of setup, but Janna's safe for them. They've already picked up Sona, so they can get any support whenever. They don't have to rush picking up Janna. And Brand is not a very highly contested champion from the NA side, so really they basically just pick champions that they knew they'd get for safe and just waiting to counter pick. And that gave Vladimir to CLG. Now, I guess Game is very confident that they don't really care about Vladimir, but we've seen Vlad picked and banned, and I think every single game. We saw that in the North American qualifiers. We're seeing it here again. Vladimir highly contended. Nunu and Amumu the same way, really. And Needly against certain teams, Twisted Fate against certain teams. You've got a lot of these champions that are very repeat choices here. And there's the double mage pickup. A lot of magic damage in this team so far. Sona, Warwick, Swain, and Vladimir, all magic damage champions. So we'll see what these guys go for last. CLG could pick up, wow, Vayne is still in there. They could get Corki, but the fast Grug, just such, I like these lineups right here. I've actually seen a lot of these champions so far already, but is the debut of Corki too?
No, it was in a one game, I think, that we didn't.
Oh, okay.
Shoutcast, I think the second game of the day. Fnatic against Pacific.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was in Fnatic versus Pacific. You're right. I remember talking. Yeah, I remember Riv talking about that one. Okay, yeah. So, cool lineup here for Game DE. Double beefy guys up front. Looks like the jungle is going to be Gragas or Alistair. Interesting. There's a little bit of an offbeat jungler choice there, but both of them can do it quite well. And the late Caitlyn pickup here, interesting. So Corki, highly contended pick, very, very strong champion, one of my favorite range carries. He's been grabbed on Game DE, but oh no, he's going to switch that out now for Ashe. I guess he's deciding what range carry do they want. Vayne's in there, Ashe, Caitlyn. They could go Sivir. There's a lot of choices out there. Ezreal. Yeah, I mean, there are like eight range carry options right there. That could keep listing off to try to prove a point, but it seems like Ashe is the one to lock in. And this is again a very mobile team. You've got Warwick can jump on a single guy, stun him down. The Ashe arrow, of course. Sona's got the haste. Vladimir and Swain can both sort of jump on a target pretty well. Swain's got that root and the slow from Laserbird. So I don't know. I think the lineup still is better for Game. They've got the Gragas and Janna push. They can de-initiate any fight ever, and they've got such powerful AoEs with the Brand plus Alistair. So picks and bans are in. Ashe is the range carry of choice, and the swaps are going to come in. Looks like the jungle is going to be Alistair. So jungle Alistair, looks like Brand and Gragas are going to be the solos. Corky John on bottom.
We saw Zyler actually jungling quite a lot with Alistair through EPS Germany and also the European qualifiers as well.
Okay.
So, it was impressive there. Gamed obviously managed to get that second place. So, I think this is going to be a great, great game. There you can see Gamed on your screen. And a few people, I just want to say about these headphones, a lot of people on the forums were like, why are they wearing such huge headphones?
Yeah.
And there were also some people saying, how come they can't hear the commentators? Now, if those people combined their powers, then they would realize that the headsets are in fact soundproof so that they can't hear us.
Yeah.
Which, obviously wouldn't be a great thing to have, but yeah, they're made for actually helicopters.
Yes.
So, you can't really hear anything through them apart from, the in-game sounds and your voice program.
Yeah, as soon as you have any kind of background noise going on at all, everything is shut down pretty quickly. Yeah, I got to test them out last night. It's crazy. You don't realize how noise canceling headphones are, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you actually can't hear anything outside of them. Even with them just on and the noise canceling not turned on, they're still
pretty airtight. Yeah. I think they have fans or vacuums that actually suck the air out to make it an actual they do something because then my ears always feel like there's pressure on them.
Yeah, and when you take them off, they kind of away from your head.
Ridiculous. Okay, so as we get into this game, I want to do another round of shout-outs real quick to people who have helped us out with this tournament so far. Own3D bringing the stream to you guys, buffed up their servers just for this event, making sure that they're going to stay up through the over 100,000 people watching online. Freaking ridiculous numbers. Shout out to them, like them on Facebook, check them out. Awesome people. They've been helping us for quite some time. Big ups to Own3D. You guys are super great. Yeah, that. I'm a good commercial actor, clearly. You put me on, hey, this product's good. Yeah.
No, but seriously, for people that don't really know and don't watch, League of Legends streams online that often, Own3D really is the place to find everyone. All the top players are there, and that's where you should go to check it out. Yeah, so it looks like we're not so far, actually, from getting there.
Yeah, we are up in the load screen now. But yeah, just to reiterate the point, if you want to watch people play LoL, Own3D's, all the top streams are League of Legends streams. You go there, Own3D.tv, you're going to find League of Legends to play. It's done. It's going to be there. Yeah, pretty awesome. So the load screen is there. Let's cast the lineups out real quick. Game DE, Rake on Brand, Candy Panda on Corky. Interesting, both have Ignite Flash. There's 3 Ignites on this team. They have Xylar jungling with Cowboy Alistair, Smite and Flash, Kevin on Gragas with another Ignite Flash, and then Nif on Clairvoyance and Flash. Jana.
Yep, and over on the other side, I guess the game's going to load too fast before I go through them all so we can get into the game. So let's hear a little bit of a noise for these two teams. Of course, it is Game versus CLG, the first game of Group B.
And here we are, Game DE with the green health bars, the blue minions, bottom left of the map. I'm going to watch Cowboy Alistair walk around. He's going to jump into some brush, not get caught like Lee Sin did last game. Going to be a little bit safer this time around, but looks like they're actually starting off on a very defensive foot. You can see they're all sort of camping by their turret here. They've got quite the nice lineup. There's a lot of damage out here from Corky and Brand. You've got Alistair in front, Gragas a little bit behind, Jana ready to help down here as well. CLG dropping a defensive ward on their Lizard buff and then immediately coming over to do something else. Look at the lineups. Level 1 looks really good for Game. They have a group of AoEs. Every single person on that team can drop an AoE at level 1. And that'll win you some team fights. Look at CLG, and yeah, they're camping between 2 turrets. They're not really wanting to move in too far. So, all right, yeah, CLG playing very defensively. Game's really camping a lot as well. Looks like Nif is going to pill back. And what are you going to... I guess she's going to go to bottom lane. So looks like, yeah, Game not really looking to push anywhere. CLG playing super safe as well. And yeah, everyone just moving to their lines right at the start of the game.
Yeah, and I think we can expect that similar to what we saw against All Authority, against Epic in match 1. A very kind of slow, steady, and very safe start. They don't want to be giving anything away this early on in the tournament. It's their first match of the day as well, so they've not necessarily had loads and loads of time to really warm up. So it's about getting into the rhythm as well these first few minutes and making sure that everything's all right and moving forward. So as you mentioned, everyone just going to start to lane off. Over on the CLG side, they've just pulled that blue buff for Warwick.
Yep, and yeah, just a lot of these kills going through right now. Game DE getting helped by his team, or Xyler getting helped by his team, and that golem is already super low. He's going to pick that one up with a smite right here, I think, and Alistair's off to a good start, is level 2 already. Look at the rest of these lane lineups. Yeah, Warwick doing a pretty good job. Still only level 1 though. Going to pick up one last kill and finally get himself to level 2 after he kills that little mini guy. So much faster jungler here. This is Alistair already healing himself and walking across the map. The top lane is a repeat from, I think it was AAA Fnatic, where you've got Gragas versus Vladimir. And let's see what they can do with this. Right now it's going to be Chauster last inning with basic attacks. There comes a barrel roll out right there. Going to miss one of those minions, and as you know, I like to watch people kill minions. So let's move on to bottom lane, where we've got Corki. And Nif playing aggressively, pushing Big Fat LP back out of range as Sona is trying to help out Warwick a little bit. So Ashe not in the best of shape, alone against 2, and doesn't really want to be like that. So going to get that help from Sona now, and going to be all right just for now. Here, Chauster going to be all right. He's going to keep last hitting, going to pick down these minions pretty well. Kevin's still doing well. Has that barrel roll, and he's doing some good harassment there.
And at the moment, Xyler dropped down fairly low, and he's actually going to take the pill home, and I guess maybe get himself some boots, and also obviously, yeah, there we go. Boots picked up for Alistair. Pretty standard stuff early on. Yeah, and as you mentioned, that top lane, we saw it in the Fnatic versus
against Authority, I believe. Because it was Soaz crushing faces with Gragas.
Yeah, it was. You're right. It went 3-4-0 at the start. Yeah. So for CLG, hopefully, it goes a little bit better for them in that top lane than it did for Fnatic. But at the moment, you see that Kevin has actually leveled up a little bit faster. We've got a little bit of pressure being put down by Candy on the bottom, and actually Big Fat LP taking a lot of damage. And
wow, yeah, ouch.
Really a lot of damage.
Barely getting level 2, so he can finally actually do some healing. But yeah, if they had managed the zone around a little bit better, he'd still be unable to heal that Ashe, and that would be very, very painful. Samefish is doing a very good job just crushing out these little mini golems here. Going to be, looks like the first to level 4, but Xyler going to have his own double buff ready in just a second, and that's going to be really the time to see what's going on. Xyler going to get himself, actually not quite 4, he hasn't picked that up because he shared the experience with Brand earlier on. So Samefish is going to pill back, but I think the unfortunate thing about his creep pattern is that he's going to have those buffs time out as he's still recalling. So he's picked up both buffs, but he hasn't done anything with it yet, and he's buying items and still walking back to base. But Alistair has double buffs and boots, and he's ready to go. So this could be a really, really good gank from game. Unfortunately, if he crosses this brush, he'll get spotted by those minions. And he doesn't have a really good way of getting into a place where he can start a gank. And it's going to be difficult for him, I think, to get in. But if he can just drop Ashe. As Sona cannot babysit Ashe in the middle of a gank. She can keep her topped off in health over the course of the lane. But if he's getting ganked, Sona can't do much until 6. Oh, and the hawk shot's going to reveal Xyler. He's not going to be able to gank that anymore. Unfortunate, but nice try there. And here we go, Kevin gonna just keep lasting these minions. Chauster, though, getting himself closer and closer. There we go, level 5 gonna be really nice. Takes a barrel to the face, but as Vladimir levels up, he's gonna be more and more difficult to deal with in lane. And that's really the important thing is once Vlad hits 9, he's kind of unstoppable in lane, and it's up to Gragas to push him back in the meantime. But first to 5 is Chauster. Gragas just hitting that just now. And he's going to be in good shape as this still moves on. Chauster going to try to last hit right there. Misses that one, unfortunately. And looks like Warwick's coming to have a little bit fun of this one. No boots. Some more push coming in from Kevin. Getting Chauster actually quite low, down to half health. But he's now in position for this gank from Warwick. And here it comes. He's going to get into range. Going to land the auto attack. Going to slow him down a little bit. Body slam will get him probably safe. But looks like Kevin's going to be fine. Gragas, yeah, going to be all right. Alistair still running around the map. Does have boots of speed and a Doran's ring. It looks like he's not getting really any ganks off on Hotshot GG. Let's look at the last hits right here. 41 on Corki, only 25 on Ashe, though. That bottom lane doing great for games. We look over at the mid lane, Brand 31, Swain 25, so again, the lane victory there. And you can look at the score right there, and yeah, they're 300 gold up, so far, game's in a slight advantage.
Yeah, and we're actually going to see a very ballsy move there from Xyler. Flashed over the top. Hotshot GG taking a ton of damage. He will survive this one. Well, that was a very interesting move from Xyler from the Wraith spawn area straight over the top once Hotshot GG had pushed out. And it wasn't so far off paying off for them.
Yeah, it was close. If someone had Ignite, they would have done a little bit more damage. I think he had about 180 health left after that gank, so he probably wouldn't have died just to an Ignite. But certainly, if Rake had managed to land his Q, he'd found a way to land a stun in the middle of that. That would have been huge. And they very nearly picked up first blood. Nice try. But the lanes are now starting to get farther and farther, I guess, in CLG's favor. Just because Sona's now going to have beefy enough heals to actually overpower Corki's harass, and Vladimir getting level 7 pretty soon. He's going to be almost immovable, and then once Swain hits 6, especially when he gets Golem buff, which is going to respawn in the next like 10 seconds actually, and he's going to have infinite mana plus self-heal, and that's going to be really useful for him. So Rig still doing what he can, last hitting these minions out right in front of Warwick, and some decent gold being gained.
Yeah, Warwick actually putting a bit of pressure onto Rake there just to force him back.
It seems pretty safe.
I guess Warwick will go back onto his pattern now and continue with that jungling. Kevin and Chaucer up at the top. Let's have a look at the minion kills. 43 for Gragas and 50 for Vladimir. So, not so far away from being very even down there. We've seen some pressure putting on, though, at the bottom onto Big Fire Lip at the start, and they may just came down. Nice heal up from Elements, who was actually pretty much out of mana there. And if it was timed a little bit later, that could have been a bit of a disaster for CLG.
Yeah, and Nif almost dropped down right there. He actually got a little bit too aggressive. He took a ton of burst damage back from Sona and Ashe, dropped down to about 120 health. It's a great counterattack there. Ashe got away pretty safely, good heal as you said, and then they very nearly got that kill. If Sona had her passive proc or another Q available, that would have been the first blood right away picked up, but still the advantage, 500 gold now in Game's favor. They're doing great for themselves. Swain still camping out in mid. Hotshot, there we go, is going to turn on that giant crow form. Getting a little bit of free health there, last hitting a few of these minions. The way that ultimate works actually is it costs more mana to maintain over time, so you kind of want to pulse it for a little bit, gain a little bit of health, and let it go back down. And that's kind of the most mana efficient way to gain health. He's pulsing in there, going to last hit a few more minions. And he's going to catch himself back up a little bit, though they're down about 800 gold, so that actually advantage is growing over time. So Game is putting themselves in good shape right now.
Yeah, especially since we've seen Chaucer go black with Vladimir, got himself the Hextech Revolver. And we've seen some pings down at bottom. Okay, the Clairvoyance used actually, and they'd spotted Xylo starting to move in onto that bottom lane, trying to be a little bit sneaky and maybe get a gank off. In middle, very, very even stuff. With both Rig and Hotshot almost full health, full mana, the both of them, and same level.
Yep, they are pretty much equalized. One of the things that happens, I guess, when you ban the really aggressive junglers like Nunu and Amumu, who can gank super hard, you have champions like Warwick who don't have very strong ganks until 6, especially against champions like Gragas who can just jump past him. You have a hard time picking up these kills, and it's, oh, here he comes from across the map, though, from behind the turret. There's going to be a knock-up on a Big Fat LP. He's going to take a ton of damage. There's first blood picked up by Corki. Now moving on to Sony. He takes a rocket to the face, but does not quite pick up that kill. 90 health left. Great play by Alistair. Jumps over the wall, pops the ultimate in the face of that turret, and just jumps in there, doing a ton of damage. No flash required, with the headbutt pulverized and the unbreakable will, and picks up that very first blood. And that's the right champion to kill, too, is that Ashe right there. Just pick up that kill on the range carry, keep her out of that lane. No gold, no experience, and that's a champion that needs both, so nice job gamed.
Doesn't get much more perfect than that, considering what we've got. And if you look down the items that they're actually building up, Gragas and Alistair both double Doran's Ring at the start. Obviously, Bran with the Doran's Ring, which is what he started with. Over on the other side, Wriggle's Lantern already picked up by Warwick, and as I mentioned earlier, that Hextech Revolver for Vladimir, and triple Doran's Ring for Ashe, who of course was just taken out with Big Fat LP. And going to get back into lane now, and at the moment, Corki 86 minion kills, Ashe 42. Ouch. Now that is a difference.
Oh wow, yeah, wow, that's just good play right there. That's just pretty much outlaning that one. And the ganks by Alistair very strong. I was handing it to CLG right before she got ganked by Alistair. I was like, yeah, Warwick not a super strong ganker, but CLG doing a great job at warding out the map and not getting spotted. And then mid-sentence, Alistair showed up unspotted and got the kill. So words got eaten before they got said. But honestly, CLG does have the ability to come back here. Ashe is of course she's the range carry of the team. They are going to require her to have an Infinity Edge and maybe a Brutalizer or Black Cleaver, a lot of damage output there. But she's still a utility champion at heart, so, Ashe with 0 items is still a powerful champion, so they're not out of this game by any means just yet. Warwick scales pretty hard. He's going to be pretty durable and start dealing a ton of damage. They have a really sustainy team. Vladimir, Swain, Warwick, and Sona all can give themselves or other people health. And as long as Ashe can play safely, CLG can play a very slow and cautious game and then just, heal up and win, and that kind of works really well into the Game DE lineup, because Game DE can de-aggro fights. And then when it's de-aggroed, CLG can heal. And oh, there comes the arrow on bottom. Nif gets hit, and here comes the fight. Savage just jumps in with the ultimate. Nif completely crushed right there. Savage picking up the kill. Candy Panda running away, and it's going to be fine. So great gank there from CLG, bringing that 1-to-1. 1,000 gold still the advantage though for Gamed, and they're in good shape so far.
And that right there just shows the importance of keeping those wards, especially you know, when you've got the likes of Alistair and Warwick who can jump in and really cause some problems like that. And we have right now at top Kevin having to back away. And we're going to have the flash down at bottom. Here comes a Valkyrie from Candy Panda, focusing in onto Big Fat LP, and they will take him down. It is Candy Panda again, who goes 2-0 up, and has now gone over the 100 creep kill mark, by the way, compared to the 56 of Ash.
Oh man, that is just brutal play by that Corki. That is, I mean, that's just glorious play overall. And me being a great Corki fan, I mean, you know, he's a very common champion pick, but pretty much my favorite champion. So happy to see Corki do well continually. Rocking the Red Baron skin, doing good stuff there. Jana coming back in to support him. And the Alistair ganks have been massive. That jungle Alistair has been doing some great work there. Cooldown reduction boots on him and Doran's rings. Pretty cool to see a jungler get no jungle items at all. You know, no plus armor, no wriggles, nothing like that. Just, yeah, I'm Alistair, but I happen to have smite, so I'm just gonna kill some minions. Working out pretty well there. Warwick still just clearing out this jungle. Is level 8. Has a lot of kills really. You know, 55 on that Warwick. Only 40 on the Alistair, so while Corki and Brand are outlast hitting, you know, the junglers are doing pretty well for themselves. Looks like a gank's happening up top. Vladimir getting extremely low, and he gets the flash up, and then comes St. Vitus to try to help, and Kevin now in bad shape, trying to run away from this Warwick. Can he do so? He does body slam. St. Vitus still chasing. Oh, he does pick that one up with the decisive strike right there, and picks up that kill inside the turret. Alistair coming in to defend now. 2-2 the overall score. Alistair with a great flash getting himself away.
And down bottom, we've got a problem here for Nifu. Is she going to go in? Not sure. Oh, and that was amazingly done, but the flash comes out from Sona, and there will be another kill back for CLG. So they regain the lead 3-2. Super close game in terms of kills. The goal is almost exactly even.
Yeah, wow. And it's great. It's like, okay, there's a fight. Oh, gosh, watch out. Oh, no, wait, someone's dying bottom. Wait, switch over. And I'm actually... Thankfully, someone's on the headset telling me when to look at a different lane. Otherwise, I'd missed all of those for those of you who know my commentating. So thank you very much for those who are helping. I'm actually managing to follow the fights this time. And the stream is less mad at me because of that, so always good. But Swain now in mid lane, healing up himself. Going to just crush down these minion waves right now. And yeah, getting himself a nice amount of gold, a lot of free mana every time he kills a minion. Gets some mana back thanks to his passive. And yeah, he's in good shape right now.
Yeah, and Hotshot GG is going to be very scary on Swain, I think, once he gets going. Gets heading down towards, to take this blue buff, and that'll make him just that even more annoying for Brand to be going up against in the middle.
Yeah, and there's the oracles from Sona, going to give the vision of that ward there, so CLG will clear that ward out quite safely. Laserbird picking up that golem buff, and it's now time for Swain to shine. Infinite mana, turns into infinite health, and he's not underfarmed by any means. He's not really been killed. He's 86 minions, which is pretty strong. Vlad actually 114 minions, is pretty much tied with Corki, so he's doing a great job up top. And he's actually outlaning Gragas quite nicely, who's only at 100, and Gragas has a death. So while bottom lane is definitely going to game DE, top lane very much to CLG. And again, they're actually up in kills 3-2, so quite the close game.
And only 15.5 minutes gone here of this first match of Group B. If you're just joining us, obviously we went through Group A earlier on. And Elements, as you mentioned earlier, it does have the Oracle's Elixir, and they're sticking to this bush actually. And Candy Panda, as we've seen over the past, if you've watched some of my shows and of course the European qualifiers, played so many amazing Corki games in his past, and today is looking like it's going to be one of them as well. He's currently 2-0, massively out-farming Ash on that bottom lane as well. We are getting some pings there in the top river side, but actually not much going on there.
They might be pinging wards. CLG was pinging around the location where these wards were. They're like, hey, you know, whenever you get the chance, Elements, them clear those out. And it looks like Alistair coming around the back, the top lane again, sitting in that brush. Oh man, here he comes into the fight. Corki's going to jump in there as well. There's a stun onto Elements, getting knocked up, going to die almost immediately. Ash getting chased down. Elements will fall, but can he get the kill onto Ash? He is ghosting away as best she can. Looks like they'll be fine. And they still got a 3-0 on this turret right here. That's going to be a kill. Game DE bringing it back to 3-3, and the first turret kill of the game. Now in a pretty decisive advantage out there by 1,500 gold.
Alistair again making the biggest difference.
Making the plays happen, and it's Corki with all 3 kills, and It's 3-0-0, and then Alistair 0-0-3. Every single kill has been between those two. Sonic, or rather Jonna, putting in a lot of help as well. Ash and War really doing a lot of work there on the CLG side.
And right in the middle, Rake actually got some nice free farm with all these minions right up in front of him. Up at the top, it's the usual kind of exchange. And we actually see Vladimir does have a bit of an advantage in terms of experience, probably just from the obviously one death that Kevin picked up a little bit earlier on with his Gragas. And again, the pinging down. Actually, there was a clairvoyance just put out by that red buff over on the game side.
Yeah, and Game's going to get themselves a lizard buff, which is going to be really nice for Corki to have. He's been playing aggressively and really winning lanes all day. So giving him that extra little advantage is going to have to give them more reason to push, more reason to pick down on Ash and Sona. They're just not having the time of their lives right down here. So they're going to try to keep pinning Ash down. You look at her, only level 9, one of the lowest in the game. You know, yeah, John is 9 and so is Alistair, but you know, Corki's up to 10. This Sona only 9, so the level advantage is good for Games. And they've
the ward situation's horrible for them though.
Oh, let me check this one out.
I mean, they've just put one down, and actually one just expired outside of Dragon, but Rake stood in the bush with a ward right next to him. They've targeted him a couple of times. They were wandering up and down outside of Dragon, but obviously CLG knew exactly where they were, and that's one thing we saw earlier on from Sona. She bought that Oracle's Elixir, cleared a few out, and it's just not happened on the game side, despite them being that little bit further ahead in terms of gold.
Yeah, well, one unfortunate thing that happened, though, was when they did pick up the kill onto Sona. And that's the kind of thing, when a team buys in early Oracles, you want to target ganks on that champion. And that's what happened a little bit with Epic versus AAA, where, you know, they got the early Oracles, and then whenever Soraka finally bought one, they just killed her off right away. And they kept control there, because, you know, Soraka spent so much money on wards, but then couldn't do anything for it because of the Oracles. There's some cool counterplays there. Oh! Flash dodging that Ash arrow just barely. I guess I'm a little bit behind you. Nice flash there. But CLG gets the control of Dragon with that. No, Game's kind of coming back in. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen here. Candy Panda taking some damage. They're going to get it for themselves. But here comes Alistair into the front. What can they do with this? The ults come out. Who will take the most damage? Looks like everyone's getting pushed around. Xyler going to drop. Looks like Hotshot will flash backwards, and everyone's going to get pretty much away safely. Oh, Candy Panda in not great shape. Savage taking a ton of damage. Will flash backwards. Going to keep himself safe. One kill for nothing. Now Candy Panda taking a ton of damage, getting dropped down. CLG winning this fight now, 2-0. St. Midget making it away. And yeah, wow, that's really good from them.
I'm not sure how it really went so well in the end, to be honest. I mean, they were in their own Dragon, and we saw a game come in, and they just didn't, you know, piece together that fight for Game. Obviously, they lost to those two men. They're now that little bit behind in terms of gold. Obviously, 2 kills as well. As we're about to hit the 20 minutes played, they still do have the 1 turret advantage, though.
Yeah, they do have a little bit of the map control advantage, although the wards actually finally starting to work for them. We look at the back of the wards, they've got, he's in control on the right-hand side. CLG, though, actually, they're just starting to time out, so the ward advantage finally coming back into the advantage of Games, but they're now down about 1,000 gold, which is kind of unfortunate, plus the other 400 lost from the Oracle's bot, and then you know, killed, so that's kind of unfortunate. Actually, no, that's CLG that lost the Oracle, so take that back. So that gold advantage is actually a little bit closer than you might think, thanks to that Oracle's kill. Xyler creeping out another golem buff for himself, doing a pretty good job there. Looks like he's going for, I mean, those do build him to Lich Bane, but I'm trying to think of what that actually would probably be. Mana Crystal plus Blasting Wand. I don't think it's Rod of Ages. I'm lost. He'll tell me later as he starts to buy items, but golem buff is picked up for this AP Alistair. 116 AP on him is quite nice. You got Warwick still running around the top of the map. Has a Spirit Visit for himself now as well. 100 armor, 100 magic resist, a lot of health. Sona waiting around, puts a ward down in the brush. Going to keep controlling the middle of the map. Has to be a little bit afraid of Kevin, but going to be okay for now.
And we've got 2 actually pushing that top lane. Obviously, it's Alistair that's defending it, but not sure. Yeah, CLG are actually going to back away from that one. Didn't really fancy the chances against Xylo, who so far has been playing absolutely brilliant in this game. We've got 3 from CLG working their way up as well towards that North River area, so I'm not sure if they're going to aggressively place themselves for something. Again, the wards are down, just covering those 2 exits from the CLG jungle into the river. And obviously Corki did drop that bottom tower a little bit earlier on. Already built his Trinity Force up as well. Yeah,
that's a sub 20-minute Trinity Force with upgraded boots and a Doran's Blade. Corki is in crazy good shape this game. Ash is no upgraded boots right now. Does have about 2/3 of Infinity Edge though, so she's getting into pretty good shape here. She's eventually going to catch up. The first major item, the Trinity Force, definitely completed way before Ash completed her Infinity Edge. That is a pretty good advantage, but she still has enough attack damage from most of those pieces. Yeah, she's going to be all right. And she's slowly catching up. Has now broken 100 minion kills, 118 on her, 171 on Vladimir, 123 on Swain. On the other side, though, 185 on Corki, 160 on Gragas.
Oh, we've got a big push actually coming up on top there as St. Vicious is down real low, and we actually see the charge coming in. Candy Panda moves in as well. Surely Chaucer is going to fall, and yep, there will be barrel from Kevin. Nicely done from Gain. This top lane should be fairly open. Hotshot GG and Elements both coming, trying to save this top tower, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to hold on to that one. Obviously, 4 versus 2 that it is up there, but down at the bottom, Big Fat LP, sneaky as he is, pushing that tower down, and he's going to get it, well, low, very low, if not down. I think down completely.
Yeah, I think he's going to get this one. So, open up with a great fight for Game. They got 2 kills to 1. They got a turret out of it, but Big Fat LP still pushing bottom, doing a great job there, playing like I would, just, farming minions no matter what the team fight situation is. But gets a turret out of it, so they managed to equalize that, but it's still a 4v2 at best, and they're getting this middle turret right now. So Game, getting the 3rd turret kill of the game, have already taken now all 3 outer turrets by 23 minutes in great shape. Now going to go ahead and just walk on backwards and be completely safe. Still down 1 champion kill, 5-6, but they've brought the gold back into their favor by the superior last hitting and by the turret advantages now. They've got themselves in really good shape this game.
CLG actually starting to bunch up around middle. Maybe thinking they need to get rid of this middle tower. I would say they've only taken that bottom one down, whereas Gamed obviously did take those 3 outer turrets, as you mentioned a few moments ago.
Yep.
And we have Elements with an Oracles as well now again, so should be able to clear out. There goes the arrow from Ash, and he was in onto Candy Panda, but that's a nice ulti away from Nif. Manages to push CLG away for just enough time for these remaining 4 game players to get maybe into a safer distance. Zyla is far from healthy, and it looks like Warwick is going to go pushing on through. Zyla still managing to hold on, and I think Games will actually hold off with this one, at least for now. Vladimir still trying to be annoying as ever. Hotshot GG taking some of that damage from the barrel. But Games, they've pushed them away for now. Great stuff.
Yeah, good pull from Vladimir. Managed to dodge that stun from Rake. And they're going to be okay. The push-in was close. They did blow Alistair's ultimate. The Janna dropped hers as well. Gragas is still up, though. Corki, of course, no real quote on that one. Looks like in the end, though, Vladimir, oh, here comes the push on the Candy Panda. They're taking a ton of damage as a Soda Dance. He has dropped down, now pushing on Save. Is getting pushed back around a little bit. Zyler staying alive, but that was one pretty much free kill. Great coordination with the ultimates there. Dropped that kill quite nicely, and they're still ready to go. Like I said, their team is very sustainable. Everyone but Ash can heal themselves, and sometimes someone else, and of course Ash can take the heals from that Sona, and this is working pretty well. The shield is off on that turret, but they're still able to do some damage. Chowser getting hurt kind of badly, but he is Vladimir after all, so it shouldn't be too bad for him. And they're just going to get 177 heal picked up by Elements, and they could just get ready. Oh, they're going to go for Dragon. Nice play there by CLG. The global gold is pretty much tied up, but they have a free Dragon for themselves. Now, GDE knows about it. The Ash arrow comes out, hits Nif in the face. A little bit more damage coming out, but they're going to be just barely safe. But Hotshot taking a ton of damage. And oh, the jump on a Xylor is pretty huge. He's really, really low. He will drop down. And Game's not pushing anymore, so CLG got a free kill. Ouch.
Yeah, there's a couple of free kills. Not exactly what the Doctor ordered for Game. Obviously, it brings the kills now to 8-5 in favor of CLG, but they gave away Dragon, and Game knew exactly about it, and Game are going to go in there. They are going to take it out and say thank you very much for the extra gold.
Well played. I don't quite know how that transpired. I mean, maybe CLG was really low, but
I guess CLG just thought they're not going to go for it now that they're 4 and they know we know it's up. But
I am honestly just confused by that. I'm not sure what they decided. Great job by Game. CLG had to know it's a 5v4. How can you lose that?
It's warded. It's warded as well.
It's warded. They just kind of walked away. But, dude, there's so many wards. Look at that. There's like a pattern of 5 wards in like the same screen. Like that entire it's just visible. Game with like ridiculous ward coverage over Dragon. I mean, it worked certainly. I look over at CLG. They had decent ward coverage of Dragon as well. Nothing up top. I don't know. I'm flabbergasted. very confusing. But looks like Rake or Zyler will be given the Golem buff. They're creeping that one out right now. Looks like Swain has already picked up Golem for himself. Already has Rod of Ages, Mercury Treads as well. Going to turn this into a couple more items. Now here comes the further damage output from Rake. Going to take down this Golem. Pick that one up. Infinite Mana Brand is a happy brand. And this might be Rod of Ages.
Yeah, we've seen Bloodthirster go on to Corky. I'm not sure if you mentioned that. Maybe you
not.
Did. No? Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw him building it earlier on. I guess he literally just finished it after he went down a little bit earlier on in that middle fight. Obviously, the Dragon Gold helping him out on that one.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
And CLG, once again, starting to maybe bunch up around this middle. We saw the Oracle's Elixir being picked up finally by Nif, who is playing Janna 4 games. And that will probably help them out getting a little bit more map awareness, which they're certainly, I wouldn't say lacking down in that bottom river because they still have a couple there, so it's not so bad. And it looks like actually CLG are going to back away completely from this one towards middle.
Yeah, they're a little bit afraid now, I think for good reason. Hotshot GG with blue. Oh, wow. Okay, I thought they were going, yeah, wow. I mean, it's warded though. Okay, Nif will see it. There we go. Okay, there you go, Nif. You're going to drop down that ward right there, and now CLG has to be afraid. Now they have Hawkshot from Ash and Clairvoyance from Sona. Both of them are probably up. Now that is Games CV, and they're going to take down another ward for themselves. So Game in a happy place, putting down a ward for themselves. Going to really put nice control over the the Baron inlets. It's very powerful.
And they're just weeding out these wards from that bottom river. The all-important one in that bush, which spotted Game going towards Dragon earlier on, but they didn't actually do anything about it in CLG. And now there are 3 of CLG, probably make that 5 in just a couple of moments, moving in towards this middle area. Game again hugging towards the tower. Just going to play this one a little bit more defensive. And CLG have an Oracles of their own, so kind of in that phase where they're just vying for that map control, maybe headed up towards pushing for that Baron, and obviously keeping control of Dragon. And here we actually see the arrow coming out from Ash. Xylo will be the focus of this one. Did get rooted down as well. Focus comes in onto Vladimir, and they were a little bit unlucky. The ultimate came out, and I think Chaucer just dodged underneath that in perfect timing.
Yeah, that's been the thing that's been happening a lot. We saw this in AAA vs Fnatic as well, where Gragas will ult and try to push Vladimir away, and Vladimir's like, no thanks, I'm good. And it's been working quite well. Just, wow, giant AoE damage coming out from Game, just crushing entire minion waves in a single second. And again, Nif just coming around, finds another ward to clear out, gets that one down. So now CLG once more must be afraid of Baron, but they are going to push mid, and this could work really, really well for them. Game is not in position. Gragas and Corky both very far away. I'm not quite sure why Corky was so far down. I don't know if he was last hitting the minion wave.
Yeah, he was pushing the bottom lane, but then decided to come back, even though CLG was still stacked with 5 in middle. But I don't know. Obviously, they don't want to sacrifice this middle tower.
Yeah, but the fight might erupt right here. Looks like they've got decent positioning. The John Tornado will hit Hotshot GG. They're going to push on, but Rake will not get positioning to land that stun. So they're going to back off now. CLG going to be safe for now. Ash does have her Infinity Edge done. Going to work towards Zeal, it looks like, with that that dagger right there. Sona with 2 Philosopher's Stones, getting a nice amount of gold over time. Looks like EU really not choosing to play Mass Gold per 10 so much. And again, that ward repeatedly cleared out. That's the 3rd straight, so it's 225 gold plus 25 per kill. So yeah, 300 gold, pretty much paid for the Oracles right then. Justin Baron, so pretty nice there.
And both teams very content, or find it important, obviously, to keep this Baron warded up. We see the Clairvoyances almost instantly, when they're ready, being spammed off in towards that Baron area. So a little bit earlier on from Janna for Gamed, and just that time as well for Sona, who obviously has been playing by Elements over on CLG. And they're in that kind of standoffish, let's farm as much as we can, finish some items kind of phase, whilst vying for that map control. And, well, I guess at some point it's going to erupt. And Dragon, I'm not sure exactly on the timing, but it can't be far away.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, the unfortunate thing for CLG, if they're trying to push, is that Nif and Kevin on Johnny and Gragas respectively are really good at counter-initiating and dropping. Oh, and here comes another Asher that will whiff everyone though. So they're gonna still push in for this turret. They do some decent damage, and there comes the barrel. from Grog. It's going to push Vladimir a little bit low, and they're going to jump in there. It looks like Hotshot GG in the front, going to take a lot of damage. Must slash out. Jana ult comes out. Can he panda those super low? Will he die to ignite? Yes, he will. Great jump in there. Looks like save is extremely low, and Kevin going to maybe drop down as well. Vladimir doing a ton of damage. Will the shield survive? No, it will not. There's another kill right there. Xylor going to stun what he can and pushing Chowster back into turret range, but will pull down, and Big Fat LP picking up a kill. Chowster still in a little bit dangerous shape. The ignite coming off onto Jana, going to be safe though. CLG picking up 4 kills for nothing though. Wonderful play by them.
Yep.
Turret goes down. Wow, they just turned that one right around.
Yeah, and actually it took 3 of them to take down Rake. They went off towards the south side of the river, finished him off, and I think that's what allowed Jana to get away as easily as she did, although, you know, she was super low health. It's going to allow CLG, of course, to get in over onto Baron, and they are looking very, very strong. Got more than double the kills. Gold, obviously, is still fairly even. The turrets, 3 for 2 in favor of game still, but this Baron buff is going to make a huge difference because now they're just going to go through this game D jungle and clean it up.
Oh yeah, they're doing a great job. They're going to have bounce. Oh, Asher comes out, barely misses Jana. That would have been a nice free kill there to pick up. Yeah, CLG completely clears out the Golem camp, and the Lizard's up, and it's going to go to Corki. But
wise thing.
Their own,
when they knew they were at the top jungle to go down there and get the red before they came as well.
Yeah, that's really smart. And you know, CLG choosing not to invade though. A lot of them a little bit low on mana, specifically elements below half. I don't know why I was randomly zoomed in on an area of nothing, but we see him recall back. Gragas and Brand still in mid, farming up what gold they can. You know, despite the 7 kill advantage and the Baron kill, it's only about 3,000 gold off, and there's actually, they found a dragon. So Gamed, you know, choosing this time where CLG is going back to base, trying to preserve their Baron buff, buy up items and heal a little bit. They managed to push in and just take down that dragon right there. So bringing it back down to 1,400 gold difference. And certainly the Baron buff itself is worth a lot. Your champions get a lot stronger there. We look at the levels, and you've got Swain at 18, Vladimir at 18, Ash at 16. So those are the top 3 right there. And wow, no 18s for games at all. So this is actually really powerful for these guys, where, you know, 17, 15, 16 at the top. Yeah, CLG's got advantages more so than just gold. And that's working out pretty well for them right now. CLG definitely winning this game so far.
Yeah, and I think that's why they're not so worried about that dragon and what it's giving Gamed, actually, because I think they're expecting maybe to finish this one off a little bit earlier than that. And as you can see, they are 5 men already pushing down towards this middle area. Creep's just been cleaned up there easily by Vladimir. And we have all 5 of Game also, as you can probably expect, defending this turret as the ping's actually coming around as well. I'm not sure they're going to be able to hold on to this one. We'll see exactly what the plan is from Game, kind of just hanging back, making sure that they don't get hit by anything unnecessary. And CLG are very wary, and I guess just having a bit of a discussion now as well as to what the plan will be, where they're going to go from here, while they've still got this Baron buff active.
Yeah, they're going to just keep sieging up at this turret. They're waiting for the next wave of minions. Unfortunately for them, Kevin and Rake are both great at just AoE spamming these minions down. Of course, so is the Corki from Candy Panda. And the rest of the team can sustain them pretty well. They have the heals from Xylor and the shield. And here comes the Ashar, and they're going to jump that one right onto Xylor. Again, he will take the damage. He will ult and be safe for now, but he's still taking a lot of damage. Catches a nice heal onto himself. Yeah, they're going to be okay, but they're going to crush on this minion wave. The next wave will show up, and CLG can keep pushing. Of course, they're pretty much full health and mana still, thanks to the Baron buff, thanks to Sona, and they all have the ability to heal themselves. And so they're going to just wear down on Gamed, and you can see Alistar no longer with an ultimate, still has flash, but it's getting a little bit scary in here. They go onto this turret, and it looks like Gamed is going to give that one up entirely. And CLG now bringing in their 3rd turret kill, and they're going to keep moving in right here. This could be great for them.
I guess they're going to go push off and go into that top lane now, which obviously not a single turret being taken out so far. They've got a fair amount of minions on their way in there as well, so I can't see Gamed, you know, if they won't defend that final turret before they get into their base in the middle, to go for this outer turret defense, especially since it's got basically no HP left on it either. And yeah, CLG are going to walk straight through that one. Game set up in between that 1st and 2nd turret, but I think CLG are going to just steamroll their way as fast as possible through this one. Obviously, we see the arrow coming in again, and it's connected with Rake, who is fairly low HP. Will they follow this one up? We actually see the flashing from Vladimir, but he's taking the focus of the damage. Nicely held off there by Jana. And I think we're going to see Warwick escape that one yet just about with enough health to stay alive. Obviously, his lifesteal helping him out there as well. And Gamed may chase. They're having a look here, but I'm not sure a chase is really viable for them. There is a ward there that Nif can remove and will do so, and that gives them a little bit more vision. I mean, if you look at the Fog of War, the ward situation, not brilliant for both teams, but as you could probably expect, CLG definitely have the map on lockdown.
Yeah, CLG a little bit better ward control. They actually have aggressive wards now. They can see into the enemy jungle with those wards, and that's giving them a lot of power right now. Teamfight was super close. They did manage to blow a couple of the ultimates, specifically from Rake and Xylor and Nef, the most important ones there. The rest of them pretty much low cooldowns, so not too bad. But they have about a minute before they can really use those again. So John is going to be the least useful one right here, as her ultimate still halfway cooled only, and CLG has a good chance to sort of push in that time frame, maybe get something done. Their Baron buff has timed out, so Baron will respawn in less than 3 minutes, so before 40 and a half, you're going to see Baron come back up, and that's going to be another point of contention. CLG might actually wait around for the next Baron to spawn and not really push around until then.
Yeah, definitely a viable tactic for them, considering how far they are ahead in the kills. Gold is still even there or thereabouts, around about 2,000. As you can see, they are just farming out. We've got an 18 on Vladimir and also on Swain now. And I guess Big Fat LP is not going to be too far behind with Ash, and also Warwick on 16 and Soda on 13, which doesn't make that much of a difference. They're actually going to go in, steal that blue buff away, and once again the offensive arrow comes in from Ash. That's aggressive play actually from Alistair, and they're going to take this fight. CLG Elements taking a lot of damage, actually will focus all their efforts now in on to Kevin, who is having to push away with Gragas, throws in those barrels as he goes. Candy Panda did take down Warwick, and we see Chaucer just avoiding all the damage he possibly can. Not quite enough though, and it was nicely chased down by Gamed in the end, and that will be a bit of a victory for them, 3-1 in terms of that one. Really great stuff from Gamed.
Really glorious play. They actually managed to finally separate the teams the way they wanted to again. With Janna and Gragas, you have the ability to completely push the enemy team apart, and finally got a fight where that happened. And it really has to be the jungle there. When CLG can come in from a lane and say, oh, hey, we're here fighting at this turret, let's just walk down in this, little path right here. And then we have, escapes to the right, brush to the left, you can hop over a wall. CLG can fight right here, and they're never gonna get destroyed here. They have so many avenues to escape. When they're coming in through the jungle, they've got, this jump is really far when you get pushed down. You can't make this jump because you've got the entire game team ready for you. And you see, Warwick died down there to the bottom right. Corgi just jumped over with Valkyrie and took him down. That's the kind of things that we've been seeing, where it's just really, you finally got that fight to go correctly, and it was a slaughter. They're already, pretty much catching up, and they're 500 gold down, after a Baron and 4 dragons have died. That's nothing at this point. They're down a turret. That's kind of a big deal. I think they're slightly down in levels still, but they've gotten Kevin up to 18, and they're going for Baron right now. They've been clairvoyance, but they're still going for it. CLG, Swain, and Vladimir are super far away. They can pick this one up. They're actually afraid, and they shouldn't be, I don't think. It's a 5v3. They could have probably gone for it. They will choose not to. They're not quite killing the ward. Thing is, Corki can turn on E and be fine. Asher coming out. He's going to whiff. Super tension right now.
Yeah, the thing is, the rest of CLG here now, so this is an even worse position than before for Game to stick around on this Baron.
True that. But they're in the advantage right now. They came off a big win. So, they caught up in some of the levels, and they're going for Baron again right away. And CLG doesn't quite know about it. They're going to go in anyway, though. And Baron's at half, and they're going to get spotted. They're going to have to back off. They really can't be fighting these at half health. CLG could honestly jump in there and do a real fight. Xylor low enough that it probably would have mattered. He did pick up Sheen and Deathcap now. That cow is getting pretty beefy. Looks like that's going to turn into a Lichbane pretty soon. He's got that no magic mantle down there. They're waiting on opposite sides of the river. CLG's pushing in. They're going to get a position from the back, though. It's going to be super dangerous for these guys. Can Kevin make this work? He is the real big initiator here. He's got that nice push around, and Alistair as well. Looks like they're not going to go for it, and they're going to let themselves get out just fine.
Yep, Dragon was up a good 2 minutes ago, there or thereabouts. 39-40 spawn, which once they're starting to get up to these level 18s and finishing off their builds, possibly not quite as interested in getting in onto this Baron. But as you mentioned, despite it being 13 for 8 and CLG having that advantage in terms of turrets and also taking the Baron, the gold is like 600 difference.
Yeah.
It's really nothing at all.
That's what last thing will do for you, certainly. And I think this is a mistake by Game. They're going for the Dragon, and they do have good ward control, and Sonar doesn't have an Oracles, so they can't clear that ward control. But it's Corki just sort of taking a buff for himself, or not a buff, but the Dragon, and that's going to bring the gold back to their advantage for the first time in like 15 minutes in this game. So Game is winning, quote unquote, by most of the metrics that matter. But it's super contended right now. The kill disadvantage is nice. It's good for CLG to have, but they haven't really won in anything else that's by any significant margins. And the gold's been equalized, the dragons and all that. That's been fine. And we're just gonna have to see for now.
And Big Fat LP's just gone back, sold one of his Doran's blades for a Catalyst Protector.
Banshees Veil, probably.
Yeah.
Certainly doesn't need that golden mana, or gold, yeah, health and mana on level, but he's already level 18. But let's see. Corki gonna pill back as well. Looks like both teams just prepared to be super, super safe. Corki picking up a cleanse sash for himself, actually. Grabbing that Quicksilver sash. He looks like he's going maybe towards Infinity Edge at this point. Scrolling around the map randomly. Yeah, CLG in their own base, but yeah, we see what Corki's picked up. Bloodthirster, Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, Trinity Force, and a Last Whisper, now getting another pickaxe, which is most likely going to be Infinity Edge. And CLG on the right-hand side of the map means Game is going for another Baron. Nif will try to pick down this ward, will do that pretty successfully. They do know they've got to be spotted soon. They do have a little bit of ward control, so they know they're going to get jumped on, and they're staying on it, and the Ash Arrow is good on the Xylor, and here they come, Chester in the front, will pool. And Game is content to walk backwards, but they're now really, really low. Chester was farmed enough that ult hurt, and Rake got caught right there. Has to flash over the wall. Still extremely low, and here comes the fight. They're going to haste themselves around. Element's getting pushed back. Does the Gragas have his ult? But he does. They can still push this enemy team around, but no, they're losing champion after champion. Now Candy Panda will probably drop down. No, the Quicksilver Sash keeps him alive against the Druid, or the dots right there, and they're going to keep that to a 2-0 score. But a good Golem steal here from CLG. They're going to pick that one up quite nicely, and now they're going to go for Baron. Ooh.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, 2 down from Gamed and the rest far from healthy. Especially Candy Panda, who, as you mentioned, Quicksilver Sash just keeping him alive for that one. And this is the point where we may see CLG start to really move through. I mean, 20 seconds still till Xylor is finished there. And I guess it really makes sense to be shaving off a couple of more towers while they've got that bit of extra time to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really going to be up to CLG. I think they're going to push the left-hand side. That seems like the right place to be. They've got a giant minion wave there, or they're just going to go for the inhibitor. I guess that makes a lot of sense, too. They know better than I. So there we go. Chester in the front of everything. Doesn't really care that he's going to get hit by a turret. He can self-heal just fine. And he's going to just back off now. And here they go onto the turret. Big Fat LP in the front, getting buffed. And the Ash Arrow will hit onto Candy Panda. A ton of damage going off onto him. If he has Quicksilver Sash, he should use it right there. Chester taking a ton of damage. Will pull back. Xylor not in great shape. Will ult himself and be fine. Looks like the turret will stay alive for now, but it's down to about a third health.
And Chotha, he's up already so high. I mean, he's got 500 HP, so his lifesteal is doing ridiculously good for him at this point. That tower down to half HP. 5 of CLG still stacked outside. 4 from Game, just on the other side. Obviously, Corki did have to go back to heal that little bit earlier on. And the thing is, they don't have all that much poke, do CLG, so they've maybe got to rely on getting a good initiation into this one, as we see them just going onto that tower anyway. This could be bad, and actually the ulti from Brand is really, really great. CLG were all packed together, and obviously the bounce effect from that ulti being a real big pain for them. And they're focusing onto Vladimir, which is going to be not the easiest kill they're ever going to get in this game. And actually we see Vladimir take down Rake. They are pushing away, and we see Corki have to Valkyrie away to keep himself alive, and that was again a 2-for-1 advantage for CLG as the Ash Arrow goes in, and it will land in onto Kevin, and we are going to see him go down. Hotshot trying desperately to heal up, and he did survive there. We must have had ridiculously no HP as he gets away from that one, and CLG now are going to take down this inhibitor. Of course, only Janna left alive, and if Janna can 1v4 save this one,
if she can.
I will be surprised.
I will too, but you know, she does have some turtle shells, so she's in pretty good shape here. Hotshot getting healed so incredibly much. The sustain comp working greatly for them. And yeah, you know, as these fights drag out, you know, Game doesn't quite have the ability to sort of do that last 10% of health. They don't have those other strong burst champions. You know, Rake puts out some nice opening, and then Kevin puts out a nice opening, but then, you know, Corky just sort of has to wear down people. And the last two turrets are going down. Looks like Game going to be dropping this game to CLG. One more hit on that Nexus to go down, and CLG 1-0 in the group so far. Gonna move on so far. Game's gonna have to try to start to fight, stay alive. They're gonna see the rest of these games go off.
And we actually have some CLG fans in the audience as well.
I
can't see because of the light.
What do you see?
The sign there. Oh, here we go.
Oh, nice. We have a sign. Just 4 to win. Nice. I like the intentional misspelling of thank you very much. So, yeah, we got a CLG sign in the audience. I did see one for Against All Authority up on the back wall a little while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, CLG players look pretty happy. Shouts are smiling, talking around. See that grin on his face, doing pretty well for him. Big Fiddle P, emotionless as normal. He's pretty much CLG's Dyrus, I think.
Well,
pretty good.
They got the job done. That's what really matters in this first matchup. You know, as we mentioned earlier on, that whole first game of the day, getting into the swing of things, and CLG definitely did. But from Game's point of view, they had an amazing game, in my opinion. I mean, Candy Panda, who I pointed out as always seeming to play well with Corky, had a beast of an early game. I mean, he was outfarming Ash by double for 20 minutes or something. Yeah. Like, really a long time.
Yeah. But yeah, the teamwork with CLG really held them together. I really think it was the lack. And the thing is, like, this team comp looks like a burst team comp, but I don't know, for whatever reason, they couldn't get like that last 10% done. Sona would de-aggro. They managed to stun enough people. Basically, you know what it was? It was Chowster jumping into the front and saying, everyone target me, and then pulls backwards and is fine for the rest of the fight. I think Chowster took so much burst for the rest of his team that they didn't pick up anything else. You look at, you know, Hotshot GG, right? 1-0-12 was just tanky. You look at that. He's got Rod of Ages, Mercury Treads, a Null Magic Mantle, sorry, a Negatron Cloak. Yeah, he has the Rabbiton's Death Cap, but that's the only like major AP item. The rest of it was really just durability built. And yeah, just built super tanky. The entire team from CLG really durability plus sustain, and it worked so well for them.
Yeah,
damage, in the group so far.
Damage taken.
The damage taken graph is ridiculous. Wow.
40k damage there. Only Warwick taking more, actually,
as a jungler,
in the CLG team. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. So yeah, he really did a good job getting himself into those fights and absorbing the burst for his team. Really, really good play there. So hopefully we can get an update on either when or how it went, the game between TSM and Zan.
I think they're still playing, actually.
They're actually still playing.
Yeah, it looks like they're still playing off here to the side. As you can see there, the next game will be coming up is Gamed versus Zan, and obviously we'll be switching the commentary teams out for that one. But I do believe over in the pro gaming area, we have an interview with the players, and both teams this time. Enjoy.
All right.
Hi there, we just saw CLG versus Gamed, a really big, exciting match. What were your thoughts on that game?
Well, till a certain point it was equal, but since as the team fight started, we made some individual mistakes and we gave more and more advantage to CLG. Yeah.
Would you be able to pinpoint the cause of that turning point? You know, what happened there?
Well, I think the biggest advantage we gave to CLG was the first Baron. Baron is always very important in this game, and yeah, that was the point.
Great, and you're about to go up again for your next match. You know, what are your thoughts? Are you taking anything into the next game that you've learned?
Yeah, I think the next games will work much better because we are not that nervous anymore, and we solved some technical issues.
Great, thank you so much. And over here, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Cody Sigvason, Elements. I played Sona that game, support.
Great, and you did an awesome job. What were your thoughts going through that game?
Thoughts was basically sit in the back, stay alive, spam the Sona button, spam the heal, spam my auras, and to support the team as best I could.
Awesome. Just face roll with that keyboard. QWER. Awesome work. And what were your thoughts about going into like the bans and the draft?
I liked our team a lot better. We had a lot more sustainability. As you can see, they had a lot more burst, but every time they bursted us, it didn't even matter because Vlad would just Q, I'd spam W, Swain would just press R, and then we'd all be back to full health. So, I mean, they burst, we sit back, do it again, just keep pressing, so it just ended up working.
Yeah, it definitely paid off. And any final thoughts before going into your next game?
Hope we can do the same thing.
Great. Best of luck to you both, and back to you guys.